Hello there guys, Guy with the Camera 23, back with part 2 of 2014, A Kubrick Odyssey. So in this part I'm going to be focusing on the 3 short films that he directed from the 1950s, and the way I'm going to watch it is on the Fear and Desire Eureka Masters of Cinema release. There are if you can see that, the 3 short films. And the first one I'll be talking about will be Day of the Fight. So Day of the Fight is directed, produced and photographed by Stanley Kubrick. It tells us a day in the life of Walter Cartier, a boxer in the 1950s, and his brother Vincent. And Walter it shows like kind of a day in the life of the preparation towards the big fight. And it is all these three films are pure documentary films. There's no kind of proper story elements to it. It's all facts. You know, there's no kind of story to it. It's well shot. It's not the best one of the short films. It's fully narrated, and it's like narrated like apart from the bit at the end. There's no kind of you can't hear any dialogue that is actually being said. It's all kind of in narration and music in the background, which I think works pretty well. You know, it's not really needed. The end of the short film actually shows the fight, and the fight is really well shot. This is kind of the only bit of the film that you can actually hear properly, and it kind of involves you in the fight a lot. It kind of lots of kind of camera movements. It's very kinetic. It really kind of brings the fight to life, if you like, and it really shows that he always says that waiting is the worst thing. It kind of shows him kind of having proper meals and kind of and training towards the big fight. And I mean, it's only one of these films kind of really puts across Stanley Kubrick's kind of type of filming. And of course in the end he wins by a KO, so it's always going to end well. So Flying Padre, also from 1951, tells 2 days in the life of Fred Stattmuller, a priest who owns a plane, who kind of travels to kind of places out of the way to kind of officiate maybe funerals or mainly funerals, you know. So kind of places that other he's kind of the only priest with a plane, if you like, and he's the only one who can travel to these faraway places to do these services. And this one is probably the weakest of the films for me, at least. I wasn't quite as interested in this as I was the other ones. It's not really much to say about this film, really. I mean, it shows kind of a day in the life. It's kind of, no, I wouldn't say boring. It's nothing kind of really interesting. Again, for me, maybe for other people it will be, but not really for me. There's a really nice shot though, right at the end, of kind of the priest kind of stood in front of the plane with his kind of arms crossed, and kind of the camera kind of pulls out. It's a really, really nice shot at the end. But like I say, nothing much to say about this film really. It's pretty basic. It's a pure documentary. There's no kind of story elements to it. The interesting though, I did find out that he's actually a hunter as well, which was really kind of interesting. A priest that is also a hunter. And now the Seafarers, this time from 1953, is definitely the best of the short films. It is also the longest at I think about 28 and a half minutes, I believe. Because some of the bits is credits at the end. This one is really, really interesting. One of the best documentary shorts I've ever seen. I mean, granted, I haven't seen many of them, but it's definitely the best one I've seen. Let me check. Directed and photographed by Stanley Kubrick. It tells the story of the seafaring men in the SRU. I can't remember what that stands for, but it shows kind of what these seafaring men what these seafaring men have to do even before getting on the boat. It really is interesting. I mean, it starts right at the beginning, right from the kind of the hiring hall. They've always got a choice of where they want to go. An interesting thing though, that if there's kind of 2 people who want to go on the same boat, they have this thing where kind of every time you go on a ship, this card gets stamped, and it's kind of like whoever has the kind of the earliest date is always the person who goes on the boat. Really, really, really interesting. This one, really just I was just transfixed to the screen all the time. I was really interested in what these men have to go through. Like I said, even before they get on the freaking boat, you know, all these things have to kind of like pay dues, and these people who are kind of focused on getting the rights for these men, kind of getting their benefits, you know. But very, very interesting stuff. So this film, more than the other two, have kind of Stanley Kubrick's print on it. Whether it be kind of camera transition, insert shots, or even shots that kind of go on for longer than you'd think. There's a shot of the guys playing pool, and it goes on for maybe 30 seconds, and it's really, really interesting, really well shot. Probably the best shot of the bunch, mainly because there's more stuff going on. There's more to it than the other two, really. Of course, with it being the longest one, like I say, about 28 and a half minutes. I believe the day of the fight was 12 minutes 35 seconds, and Flying Padre was 8 minutes and 37, I think. But this is definitely the best one, really taken with this film. It really is interesting. It shows literally every aspect of what these men go through, whether it be, like say, from the hiring hall, and it shows all the kind of like the barbers, the clothes shops, kind of the dining halls and things. And it's fascinating to watch. Like I said, it's just really, really interesting. I don't know what it is about it. It's just the fact that these men do this just the pure fact to have a better life for themselves and their families as well. It's a lot of kind of doing things for their families, which is really, 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 really nice. I don't know if it's kind of different now, or even these people kind of do. Actually, these people kind of still exist. I mean, even the retired and older seafarers get a $25 weekly benefit. So it's a camaraderie like no other. Like everybody looks out for everybody else, and really, 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 really interesting stuff. This one more than the other two. Not that the other two weren't good, but I just kind of got a lot more out of this film. Very, very good. But they're always aiming. All these men are just aiming for the same thing, whether it be kind of security, whether it be financial or otherwise, kind of security for their families, kind of life insurance and things like that, and also the guys who have been kind of injured at sea. These people kind of do errands for them, kind of thing. Quite a lot of them kind of lost legs or lost arms, or just in kind of the hospital in general. They kind of like ask them to kind of get like cigarettes or whatever. And these men kind of they always turn up at least once a week to kind of check on these men. It's really, really, like I say, the camaraderie is like no other. Really, really, it's just all these men pull together for the same goal. Very, very interesting. I recommend checking the Seafarers out. And so the pick of the bunch is definitely the Seafarers. Absolutely amazing short film, and that's the one that is the most Kubrick. If you like. So there we have part 2 of this series. 3 short films. Next on Wednesday I'll be going to Fear and Desire, his first feature-length film. And that'll about do for this video. So thanks for watching, and thanks for joining me on 2014 A Kubrick Odyssey.